Hello there, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing the Get to Know Me tag that comes from Amanda.Colors, who's an Australian colouring YouTuber, and she's a lovely lady that I've been getting to know just recently. And I thought while I answered the 20 questions, I'll be colouring in this Camellia Angelkova's Romantic Miniatures book that I got new. I thought of doing this picture, which I rather liked, but then I changed my mind because I'm doing cake in a different picture I'm busy with. And I then saw this picture and it had lanterns in it, and in the colouring group, it's actually Disney Meg and Amanda.Colors, a Facebook group. They've got a tag to colour in lanterns as one of their colour along tags for the week, or for the month. So I thought, oh well, I'll do this one. So it's for Get to Know Me tag, it's for doing the lanterns, and it's also going to be the first one in the book. So I'm going to use my Ohuhu markers and just colour, and then I'll do a little bit of detailing afterwards. And I suspect I'm not going to do a background with this. I'm using battery operated lights at the moment because we're busy with a power outage, and so if the lighting changes, I do just ask for your patience and forgiveness, because my one light may go out if the battery has just had enough time. So I'm starting with the medium green, and I'm going to start answering the questions. So question number 1 is, where do you live? Well, I live in South Africa, in the Western Cape of South Africa, in winemaking country in the Cape Town region. And at the moment, it's very hot here. We're in the middle of summer, and we're having very hot, very humid conditions. So I've been swimming quite a lot, and I'm not a fan of the heat. I prefer the between seasons. My favorite are autumn and spring. Those are the times I'm physically the most comfortable. So question number 2 is, when did you start colouring? I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again in case I think quite a number of people that are visiting my channel now are new to the channel and haven't been with me from the beginning. So I teach singing as well as doing all these crafts and colouring and things like that. I teach classical and musical theatre singing, and one of my pupils, an adult lady, in about 2015, came for her singing lesson, and she said, oh, I've brought you a present. And at that stage, this whole adult colouring craze had just kind of started, and I'd seen books around, but I had coloured as a little child, but never really been crazy about it. And she'd brought me the Relax with Art magazine, volume 1, and as I sometimes feel like saying, the rest is history. But because it was a pupil of mine who'd very graciously brought me a gift, I sort of felt slightly obliged to colour at least one picture in it. So I had nothing. My children were grown up, and I didn't really have any decent or any kind of colour pencils or anything, and that was the only thing I thought of that one would colour with. So I went off and I bought a little box of 12 Staedtler Norris Club pencils, which, in case you've ever coloured with them, are the worst and most awful pencils to colour with. They're hard, and they like hang on to their pigment. You just can't get any colour out. You've just about got to kill yourself trying to make a colour. And I coloured this very cute little cat, and I didn't actually know how to do it. It was a sort of a Zentanglish kind of picture, and I felt like, I suppose most of us adults do, and I'm not an artist. I've never been good at art and drawing and things like that, and I didn't know what to do. I thought, oh, has one got to fill in all these patterns? What must you do? How do you do this? And so I did what most of us do these days. I went to Facebook and I saw pictures and I colored this picture in, and I actually enjoyed the process. And with looking at Facebook, I found a coloring group which I joined, and I saw all these beautiful pictures and my interest was piqued. And from there, I won't tell you how many coloring books I've got now, but and coloring materials, but it started an entire new journey in my life. So that was question number 2. Question number 3. Why did you start your YouTube channel? Well, again, goes back to the teaching singing. When I was teaching singing, I had a couple of, I had one in particular, but I had 2 boys a cappella ensembles, and the one in particular had done a really beautiful concert, and I'd uploaded it to YouTube. And at that stage, I called myself Techno Babe because I was so bad on everything technical. And my one son said to me, "You're a real techno babe," in a sarcastic, well, not nastily sarcastic, but a teasing sort of way. And so I called my YouTube channel Techno Babe, and so I'd uploaded a few things there. I didn't really look upon it as having a YouTube channel, but then I'd been coloring for a while and following a lot of YouTube channels and really enjoying them, and I was facing retirement, and I thought to myself that I wanted to have something that gave me a kind of a purpose that I felt I needed to do, that I felt I needed to have something done at a certain time and get it out and have a possibility of a little bit of extra income from it. And I thought, well, why not change the name of my YouTube channel? So I actually made a different channel, which is this one, Liz at Home. And at that stage, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, if I was going to be doing unboxing of snack packs that I was buying with my grandchildren, or coloring, or everything. And that's why the name Liz at Home came about. And sort of within the first year of that starting the channel, where I was still working at school, and I was very haphazard in my uploads. The whole YouTube Google Kids laws came about, so my dreams of doing unboxing with my grandchildren went out the window, and I started concentrating on the coloring, and then I also began to become interested in watercolors. So that's how the YouTube channel started and why I started it. And it does keep me focused. It gives me a definite feeling of, I challenge myself to get, at first it was 2 videos out a week, then it went down to 1 when there were issues in my life that I needed time for, and at the moment I'm challenging myself for 3 videos a week, which I'm finding fairly tricky to keep up, but I want the 2 coloring videos and the 1 watercolor video, and I'm going to try and keep that up and see if I can become streamlined in my purpose. So I think that answered the question of why I started my YouTube channel. I'm sorry I'm coloring so slowly. I find these brush nibs on the Ohuhu quite soft, and they go out the lines, and because this is not marker paper, it does sort of feather and bleed a little bit, so I feel like I've got to be really careful. So now we've got to question number 4. Other than coloring, what do you like to do in your free time? Well, watercoloring, watercolor painting. I love doing that. I love being with my grandchildren. My husband and I enjoy spending time together. We sometimes go for, I wouldn't call them as brave as long walks. We go for strolls around the neighborhood and to a nearby park. I love spending time with my grandchildren. I like to sing, and I teach singing as well. I actually teach 4 days out of the 5. I have pupils that are all music theatre. School, one is not a school child anymore. She's now a graduate, but the others are school children that hope to go into doing music theatre full time. So that's what I like to do. And I love reading, and I like watching TV. What do you do for work is question number 5. Well, I'm retired, so this channel in a way is my job, and also, well, it's a job that I do virtually for free, but it's my job. I look upon it as a job. And then teaching the singing is also my work. I used to sing in the opera company. I used to be in the permanent chorus and did some understudy work and that kind of thing. So for many years, that was my job. Question number 6. What are 3 random facts about you? Goodness, that's quite difficult. Let me think about it. Okay, random fact number 1 is I love tea. I enjoy herb teas. I enjoy normal teas. By normal, I mean black tea with milk. I hear in America people always say cream. I'm never quite sure by that if you actually mean double thick whipping cream or if you mean milk. But we call it milk here, but I don't have sugar, so I enjoy black tea with milk, and I enjoy the only 2 herb teas I like are mint and chamomile, and I like the fruit teas, the fruit infusions. I enjoy those very much as well. So that's random fact number 1. Random fact number 2. Gosh, I find this quite a difficult question to answer. Random fact number 2. I like reading historical romantic novels. That's a random fact. And random fact number 3 is I hate anything to do with maths or counting or numbers or anything of that nature. So now, going away from the questions, I forgot to turn the camera on when I was doing these. I just had a little break and I did the little lanterns without the camera on, so I do apologize for that. Now I'm going to start with these little either snowdrops or bluebells, but I'm making them pink. I've never seen flowers pink like this, but I felt like making them pink because this is a Valentine book and it's my book and I can do it the way I want to. So question number 7, what is your favorite coloring book right now? I find that quite difficult to answer because I don't really have a favorite coloring book. I am enjoying these little Camellia and Jokova books, and I like the Hannah Carlson books, but I don't actually have a favorite book that I just go back to. It used to be Daydreams, Hannah Carlson's Daydreams, but I finished that. So, yeah, so I don't have a favorite book at the moment. And then question number 8, what's your favorite coloring medium right now? Again, a difficult question to answer. I'm gravitating towards markers and detailing with pencils just because of speed. I like coloring with pencils because you can actually just be more detailed and everything, but I do find one of the downsides of having a YouTube channel is a certain self-inflicted pressure that I put on myself of feeling like I need to color a certain amount of stuff during a month. I was chatting to another YouTuber the other day, and we were talking about how much we love seeing other tubers, color tubers, finished pages and everything, but how they leave us both feeling a little bit pressurized and self-doubting. For me, I often feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, everybody's better than me. And I know those are silly, self-indulgent thoughts, really. We are what we are, we do what we do, and I've said often enough in videos where I've spoken about things, be kind to yourself, don't judge yourself. But we are over and above everything human, so I think it just does come up. And so for that reason, I find markers easy. You put down a color, look at this pink, it's going down, and I'm not going over everything in 7 layers to try and make a vibrant color. It just happens. So yes, the color is possibly a little bit flat and uninteresting because I haven't blended it with other colors or anything. But for that reason, marker's probably my favorite coloring medium. My favorite art medium of the moment is definitely watercolors. I am more in love and more excited by watercolors every single time I pick up a paintbrush, look at a book, look at a sunset, look at anything. I just want to paint it. So coloring, probably markers with pencil detailing. Question number 9. How many coloring books have you completed? Well, I'm ashamed to say only 3. The one that I've done that I'm proudest of is Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. I loved that book. I really went to so much trouble to get it. As I mentioned before, I live in South Africa, and when coloring was starting, Hannah Carlson's books were not available on Amazon, and we weren't getting them in South Africa, and you could order them from a shop in Norway, which was really quite difficult to do. And I managed to do that and got the book here, and I was so thrilled and so excited to have it. So it's always held a really special place for me. And I finished that, and then I finished the Relax with Art Volume 1 that my pupil had given me because it was the first book I was given. There's some pictures in that. If you'd like me to, let me know in the comments if I should do a flip through of that. There's some things that I could absolutely crawl under the table with embarrassment because the coloring is so bad. But I did it all with love and trying my very best to get better at what I was doing, and I enjoyed that. And the third book is a book of easy mandalas that I just went to for peaceful, easy coloring that I absolutely loved. So those are the 3 I finished. Number 10, do you have any secret skills? No, I can't say that I do. Singing is a skill that I had when I was younger. I still sing, but I'm not very young anymore, so the voice is doing what voices tend to do. I mean, it's still okay, but I wouldn't stand up and sing solo anymore. But yeah, actress and singer, maybe that's a secret skill. Question number 11. Do you collect anything? My husband, if he was listening to this, would absolutely die laughing. I think coloring books, art materials are definite yeses to that. I have more than I'll probably ever use in my lifetime. I used to collect patchwork fabric. I've gifted most of that to a niece now that's doing patchwork and quilting. My eyes got very bad and I can't see well enough to do patchwork and quilting anymore, but I used to collect that. Question number 7. No, sorry, talking rubbish. Question number 12. What is your greatest achievement? What is your greatest accomplishment in life so far? I think my greatest accomplishment is being married for 49 years this year and having a happy marriage. I think it's not something that just happens. Both my husband and I have worked at it. He's my best friend. I love him more than life itself. And that and having 3 wonderful, precious children and 6 adorable grandchildren, I think those are, if they can be called accomplishments, I don't think they're accomplishments. I think they're gifts. So, yeah, if accomplishment means something you've done, again, I feel it's a gift. It's something I used to pray about all the time, but was to actually become a professional singer, because I started off with not much voice. I was not allowed into the choir. I wasn't good enough in primary school. I never got solos in high school or anything, and I worked at singing. I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it and worked at it because I loved it. So, and also probably to paint a picture that I'm prepared to post on Instagram for somebody that was asked to please not do art at school because I was just too bad and had absolutely no talent. I think that's an accomplishment. So now I'm sorry about the lighting, but my one light has just gone out. I'm hoping the power will come on again soon. I ummed and ahed about what color to do this blanket. I thought of doing it green to marry with the green of the leaves, but then I decided I would just stay with this sort of cool and that side of things, but I'd go for a turquoisey blue rather. Question number 13, what is your favorite childhood memory? These are really interesting questions that Amanda's put together. I think my favorite childhood memory is going to my grandparents' house on Christmas Eve and my sister and I standing outside in the garden waiting to see if we could see Father Christmas arriving with his sleigh and reindeer in the sky, because we told if we looked really carefully we would see him. And every year we did it, and it was just, Christmas Eve was magical. I absolutely loved it. So I think that's my greatest childhood memory. What are you passionate about? I think I've spoken about that quite a lot already, but I think probably just to reiterate, and I won't go into such depth, my family. I'm passionate about my family. It incorporates my husband, my sister, my children, my grandchildren, my extended family. That's all the in-laws and nephews, nieces, etc. I love my family. Question number 15. What is something that always makes you smile? There are a lot of things that make me smile. I often think I've been blessed with quite a happy nature. The wind in the trees makes me smile. The smell of the sea, I think I'll go with that. To smell the sea, to have that feeling of the ocean, not even swimming in it, but to arrive at the seaside, open a window and get that smell of the sea. That makes me smile from the inside of my soul. Now for the next question. Name 3 coloring books that are on your wish list. A strange one, which is quite an easier one by Color Questopia, is Around the World Travel, Color by Number for adults with black background. That appeals to me. Then I was quite keen to have the Camellia Angelkova 50 Farmers Miniatures. And I'm quite keen to have a book by Apsi Sumanasiri called Cute Mandalas. So those are all sort of fairly easy books, but they're in my wish list and I would like them. What is your favorite random fact? Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite random fact, but it is a random fact that there are more than 2,000 shipwrecks in and around the South African coast. So, bet that's something you didn't know. Next question is, what coloring book do you wish existed? I think there are already enough coloring books. I don't know that I've got an idea for one that I wish existed. I'm afraid I think I'm going to have to leave that question unanswered. Then number 19 is, what is a challenge you have faced and overcome? I think that one can be my singing that I've spoken about. Also, challenge within that is also to do with singing, is I had a tumor on my thyroid gland and was told I would never sing again, and that also managed to overcome. So yeah, health issue things. And the final question, what is the strangest food combination you enjoy? I don't know if it's strange, because I had it first at an event, but it was little rounds of toast with chutney, peanut butter and bacon, and I enjoyed that. So now that's the end of all the questions, and I need to tag some people to do this tag as well, and I'm going to tag Be Cozy and Sandy at Color Creatively. So I'll put links to their channels as well, and I'll put a link to Amanda Color's channel as well, so that you can listen to other people's questions and answers if you'd like to. I've sped up the rest of this coloring, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do some detailing on this with various gel pens, and I'm having a bit of trouble with this first one to get it to work. I'm using various gel pens, and both glitter ones and then some Derwent Coloursoft pencils to do the detailing. I didn't do a lot of detailing on this because I wanted to finish the picture for the video, and I wanted you to be able to see the end. So this is quite a long video, much longer than my videos usually are. I hope that you enjoy it, and I do hope that you'll chat a bit in the comments and tell me what you think, and If you're not tagged, if I haven't tagged you and you haven't heard of this tag before and you happen to watch the video, Amanda had said that anybody is free to do it, so I would really suggest that you visit her channel, and she's got the list of the questions there. I don't want to copy it because it's not my idea, it's her idea, and I'd suggest that you went there and had a look and also answered them. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and had as much fun watching and getting to know me as I have by answering the questions. It's interesting how answering questions like this really makes you think about things. I've fast forwarded it. I have fast forwarded the video to be near the end because I think it was just taking too long, and I made the decision not to do a background for this. I may rethink that and do a background later on, I'm not sure, but as it is right now, I'm going to leave it, and I'd like to say thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. Please remember to subscribe, and if you did enjoy the video, like it, and if you could possibly share it with somebody, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, and I wish you a colorful, happy, healthy, safe week. Bye-bye now.